Hello, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of support and healing time for you. So hopefully you resonate with what comes through. Hopefully you feel better after we've spent this time together. And we'll see what happens. So while you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So if you're new to watching, welcome. My kind of plan, my intention, but I don't know what the content's going to be, but the kind of plan is that I'm going to pull a healing energy card. We'll talk about it a bit. And then I've got my chakra chimes. So I'll play the chimes for a little bit too. And then I'll pull a card again to go. So I'll be here for the next 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much I want to say, I suppose. So how are you? I'm going to say hello in the comments. So please say hello. Let us know where you are. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Saturday the 4th, I think. Is it the 4th? I think so. Saturday the 4th of June at 4:51 p.m. It's been a great day. We had some visitors this morning. My sister popped in and some friends. Actually, Mike, who makes the drums. So it's been really nice showing people around. And, just sort of slow day. It's been good. Did some cooking and that sort of stuff and had a nap, as you do, So let's do a shout out, then we'll get started. Hi, Kylie. Welcome. Hi, Tila and Lindsay. Welcome. Hi, Colleen. Tila says, I already know this is going to be amazing. Well, that's a great excitement, inspiration to begin with. Thank you so much, Tila. Hi, Corey from Pennsylvania. We've got Cheryl here and Leslie from Alberta. Welcome. Janet's here from Perth. And Janet says, how are you? I'm great, thank you. Hi, Pamela. And welcome, everybody. So let's get started. I'm going to start by shuffling and pulling a card. Hi, Ginny from Melbourne. Welcome. And I trust in my card, so I trust that the best card that the majority of us need will find its way to the top of the deck, the way I choose my cards when I'm shuffling correctly. So whatever that card is, we'll talk about it and see what we need to do, what we need to dive into today. I do find it helpful to just be open and really letting the energy flow as we go, rather than having a plan or something specific that I want to talk about. So let's see what comes up for us. What do we need to know as we move into time with the chimes? We have this. What is it? It's card 58, called System Purging. It's in the action category. And down here it says to clear the toxic clutter, tune up, wash off, remove the build-up of toxicity and negativity. That's interesting, actually. It says stop and purge your inner and outer system so you can keep moving forward. So the thought here is some questions I'm asking myself, maybe you want to ask yourself as well. What's been building up in negativity or toxicity for you, for us, lately? And how is that blocking up, that backing up of yuck? How is that affecting us at this time? So is there a toxicity, a clogged up feeling that you have inside? Is there an intensely growing or a growing in intensity of negative emotions or worry or stress or pressure that you're under mentally that's been intensifying lately? And maybe we're here today to put a stop to that, bring it to our attention so that we can clear it, purge it, and allow ourselves the space to move forward. So what it feels like to me, like visually, is like a pipe, like a sewer pipe or a water pipe, and this pipe where usually the water flows or the contents flow through quite well, that this pipe is backing up. And it could be physical for some of us, it could be emotional, it could be mental, it could be things happening in our life, it could be relationships that are sort of blocking up somehow. And the flow or the movement of these relationships or these situations doesn't feel as free-flowing as it perhaps usually does or tends to do. So we may know exactly what is backing up and what's getting blocked up inside of us, or we may just have this general feeling of heaviness or things just not really flowing that smoothly right now. So what I would like to do with the chimes and maybe guiding us through is doing like a purging, a clear out, a flush out of our system. So physically as much as we can, but this may be something you want to continue with lots of water, maybe some herbal teas, and maybe a break from some of the foods that you eat. Especially I find if I've been eating a lot, I can tend to get into a really heavy space of feeling in my body. So then it works for my body. It may work for yours too. It may not. Where I then just need a bit of a break from lots of food. So there might be a period where I have 3 days or 5 days where I sort of slowly just back my food up a bit to have some fruit or some vegetables or salad or something that is lighter on my body, just to give it a bit of a purge and just let it sort of move anything that's feeling backed up. So physically it's a bit hard to do together here, but we can certainly get that started. So it would be more like what you're putting into your body if you're feeling that way physically. Also purging things that we've been storing emotionally. So what is your current emotional state? Have you or are you feeling blocked up? Are you feeling awash with unexpressed emotion? Are you feeling like you're ignoring or denying your feelings or avoiding them or distracting yourself from your true emotions that are going on for you? So that can also block us up. So on an emotional level, is that where you need this purging, or is it physical? Is it emotional? Maybe for you it's mental. There's been a lot of mental energy coming through in this last couple of weeks as we've been really working at refining our mind and also refocusing on the things that need focusing. Also, I found mentally lately there's been a reprioritizing happening where our priorities we had have maybe changed, our routine may have changed. So we need to sort of adjust, or I found lately we've needed to adjust on a mental level and really figure out what our priorities are, what our routine is, and focus on these things. So if you've been feeling pressured or stressed out or insecure or scared, and this has been building up too lately for you mentally, then maybe for you it's more of a mental level purging that's required. But also think about your current state of external things like your relationships, like the situations that you're dealing with fairly regularly, or the things that you're really struggling to resolve at this time, because that can also block energy up. So I'm going to grab the chimes. I see they're out of order. So do we need to have them in order? No, screw it. Let's just make them even more out of order. And we'll just go with it. So it's going to mean I've got my chakra chimes. They're usually in order, like keys on a piano, C to C or whatever. And usually I play the chimes with that in mind, because the chimes don't really like being played the two notes next to each other. It clashes. So I tend to skip to every other note on the chimes and play around with that. So because these are mixed up and whatever, we're just going to go with it today. It means that some of the notes that I play are going to clash. They're going to feel a bit, oh, something's not quite right. But I have this feeling that if we can sit with it, push through it, breathe with it, and let the sound, let that discordant note or that discordant resonance, let it push and help push that blocked energy out. Like if physically, mentally, or emotionally, or in relationships and life situations, if they are represented by a pipe, and that pipe has usually, hopefully, free-flowing, nice water running through, but right now it's been gunking up, it's building up with toxins and gunk and stuff that needs purging and moving. So to move that energy, we have to often push through an uncomfortable time. And so that may come up in the chimes. So if you can push through it, if you can see it through, if you can work with that discordance to push through and move that gunky energy inside of you that is blocked up, then you might find it very helpful. So I'm going to play the chimes. I always start at the heart, which is in the middle, but I see we haven't got the heart, which is F, concert F. We haven't got that in the middle. We've actually got something else. We've got concert D. So D is the actual sacral chakra, which is just below the navel. So that's our emotional center. I'm going to start there because I pretty much always start in the middle. So take some big breaths. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and let the sounds of the chimes move energy for you. This is probably not going to be that pleasant at times because we're not here to relax, or you may be here to relax, but in general, I feel we're here to move energy. And relaxing's nice, but it doesn't really move much. So let's let ourselves be uncomfortable so we can move what's blocking us so that we can get it out of the way and keep moving forward. So nice big breath. So work with your breathing to support the movement too. Breathe out and let go. Work with a powerful breath to also breathe out and move away any blockages that you feel physically, emotionally, or mentally. So once you feel that blockage move, then you may be able to relax and settle in. Let the energy settle then and feel the energy, the movement like water flowing freely again for you physically, mentally or emotionally. The energy's calming down now, so let yourself settle. Okay, so take a nice big breath and feel what your current state is now, especially whatever it is that you were focusing before, maybe physically, emotionally, mentally, maybe in your relationships or life situations or external things. And are things feeling a little calmer now? I can feel a calmness that's coming in that wants to settle the energy and get things moving and flowing again. We can use flowing or moving for the same sort of thing that I'm feeling, I suppose. You may be feeling it too. So if you just joined in, I was playing the Chakra chimes with this card in mind, which is card 58, called System Purging. So we've just been purging, clearing, and tuning up, washing off, removing the build-up of toxicity and negativity. So it feels good. How are you feeling? You feeling okay? I'm going to get ready to pull a card to go. Oh, I like that card. If I could go straight to a card, I'd go to that card, the Phoenix, but it will come up eventually. It hasn't come up for a while, actually. So thanks for watching. I am going to pull a card to go in just a moment. If you have enjoyed this connection today, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. So if you'd like to learn more about me and the work that I do here at Temple of Balance, then please visit templeofbalance.com.au. We have coming up my next card reading club. It's on Zoom and it's happening on the 17th of June, which is a Friday. It may be a Thursday for you. And also my next online art class, we are connecting with the heart. That's also on Friday, the 17th of June. So they're coming up. You can learn more about them on my website. There's also pendants and meditations. I've just opened my supportive services again, so you can now book spirit guide drawings and this sort of thing also. But please check out my website if you haven't visited for a while. So let's see which card wants to come up to tie this connection up. So I'm looking for the best card that represents what's next for us moving forward. So it's nice to connect here. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, to connect in this way and this time that we've spent together. But where it really counts is where we take it from here. So how can we apply what we've learned or what we feel in our actual life when we turn this off? And that's the card I'm looking for here. What's the best card to take us into our life for the next 24-ish hours? And it will be connected with what has already been discussed and connected with. So the best card for what's next for the majority of us is this here. We had this card recently. I don't know when. I don't know where, but it was here. I was sitting here. Card 27 called Mental Freedom. And it's in the action category here. And down here it says, let your worries and negative thoughts go. So again, we're talking mental energy. It's been coming up for the last couple of current energy reports. It came up definitely this week for the weekly guidance. I did a video on it last week. And it's really strong at the moment, our mind, our mental state. So let your worries and negative thoughts go. Are your worries serving you? Are your negative thoughts serving you? Are they supporting you? Are they healthy for you? Does your worry about the future, or worry about this person that you care for and whether they're making the right decisions in life, does your worry about what's happening on the other side of the world, is any of this empowering and supporting you? Because I can almost guarantee that the worry that you might be swept up in right now is pulling you down. And what if that worry was clogging up your pipes, if you like, physically, emotionally, or mentally, and your ability to actually function in life with your stuff that you're dealing with? Other people's worries, the other side of the world, and your future worries, whatever it might be based around, all of that aside, there's enough about our general everyday life for us to, we could say, be concerned about or think about or deal with, that we don't need all of this extra worry that we may be lumping on to ourselves at this time. So consider if your worries are supporting you or not. Have you been worrying a lot lately, and why? What are you worrying about? Why do you feel worried about it? And is there a way that you can switch that into something more positive? Like for me, being a mother, there are times when I worry about my children. And I don't tend to worry much. I'm not a worrier because I'm just not a worrier. I don't find it helpful. So I try, the times when I do sometimes find myself awake at night worrying or concerned, usually about my children for whatever reason, I try and replace that worry with something more helpful, because worry does not actually help them, and worry certainly does not help me. But what would help them and what does help me is if I can see them, instead of sending them worry or being worried, send them love, and envision them or encircle them and imagine them in a circle of love and protection, and send them love instead of worry. So can you place your worries with something more of a positive, hopeful thought, that they are protected, that who you're worried about is going to be okay, that, that you can envision them in a protective bubble or being held in the arms of a loved one or this sort of thing, because that will probably be more, it's almost guaranteed to be more helpful than worry, worry, worry. So can you let your worries and negative thoughts go? Can you let your hold on those things go? It says here, don't allow your worries and your negative thoughts to take away your power, because they do. Because it becomes a habit that we get into, where we just get into the habit of worrying. And for some reason, it's this trendy thing right now where, I'm so worried about you, or this sort of thing. It's not cool to worry. It's not cool to worry about others. It doesn't show how much we care. It doesn't at all. All it does is disempower us, and it doesn't help the person that we're worried about. So can you maybe reflect on what your current state of worry is, and is it working for you? And if it is, then I guess keep worrying if that's what works for you. If it's not supporting you, if it's not helping the situation, if it's causing you not to sleep, if you're getting so anxious because of your worry, it's not supporting you, it's not empowering you. So don't allow your worries, your negative thoughts to take away your power, because they will do that. And it is a choice. We can choose to change how we're directing our energy, our power, our thoughts. It is something that we can do. It says, get back in charge of your mind thoughts. Get in charge of them. If you don't want to be worrying, you determine it does not help the situation, it doesn't help you, then you have the power and the choice to do something about it and get back in charge of your thoughts. I had a big video on this like a week or so ago. So if this is something that you're dealing with now, I encourage you to go back through my video library and you'll see just a week or so ago, one that's got keywords, mental, mind, thoughts or something you might find helpful. And it says determination. It's our choice. You can determine what thoughts that you're thinking are right for you and supportive or healthy or positive, we could say, and you can determine what thoughts aren't. We are not stupid, and it seems to be that society is treating us like we are stupid and we are silly, and we do not have a choice in what we're stressed and worried and anxious about, but we do. We absolutely do. So can you feel the power in what I'm saying? You might be able to feel the truth in what I'm saying. And you might know what I'm talking about, but maybe you're finding it difficult to get started, and we'll talk about that too. But it's empowering. Like what I'm talking about is actually go straight into our solar plexus chakra, which is just above the navel. This is our power center. When we are worried and stressed and anxious and beside ourselves with fear or whatever, negative lower thoughts, it takes away our power. Have you noticed when you feel nervous or anxious, it's like your solar plexus chakra in your belly, you get butterflies, all that retreats in. So to help you get back in charge of your thoughts, also get back into connection with your body, because your body is where all that power and that energy and that life force sits. If we're caught up in the snare of worry and stress and all that stuff, connect with that, then it draws the energy out of our body and feeds our mind, our lower mind, and we get very ungrounded. So if you've been in that state, you've probably been feeling very exhausted and drained, because that's a sure sign that we're too mentally active with negativity. So our mind can work for us when we're focused, determined, organized, we have willpower, direction. Our mind can be an absolutely fantastic asset to work with. But when it's in a low space of worry and stress, it can really become a hindrance to our development and our ability to enjoy and function in life. So where do you start? Where do you start with your own mental freedom? So what's been helpful for me in the past is awareness. So being aware of what I am actually thinking. Because when we listen to our thoughts, then we know what's going on in our head. Because often our thoughts just happen over here and we're partially over here watching television or driving the car or clearing the house or whatever. And so while we're doing these physical automatic things, our mind might be just going off about, the monkey mind you've probably heard about. Useless, ridiculous things, negativity, worry about things that are not even worth worrying about at this point. Even things about the future. We could worry worry till the cows come home and not sleep for weeks because we're so worried about the future on a bigger picture level for our family, for ourselves. But it doesn't really help us stay grounded in the now and make the most out of these days that are so precious. So when we're caught up in that future distraction, if you like, it takes us out of our body, out of the present moment. We get drained and exhausted, and it's just very difficult to function. We don't sleep well, and we might find in general things just tend to go downhill. So for me, when I've got things I might have going on and I might be concerned a bit about the future, perhaps in whatever capacity, I try and remind myself to just deal with the facts when the facts come. There's no point letting my mind go on rampages and scenario imaginings about what could happen and what might happen, what might not. It's not helpful, and most of the time this stuff doesn't happen. So I just get my head back into focus in the now and just remind myself to deal with the facts, deal with the things when they're presented. And, just try and let it be. Like the Beatles say, let it be. But there are all different ways or things that can draw our mind away from what's going on now. We might not be happy in our life now. So as a part of coping and getting through that, we think about or worry about the future. We live in the past because we're not happy now. So what is distracting you from now? What is taking your power away? Why are you worrying about this? Why are you stressed about that? And ask yourself these questions and feel for the honest answers within them. Is it because you're not happy now in your life? So this is a really important thing to establish as soon as possible, so you could do something about it to help you establish a balanced and happy life that's balanced and happy for you. So to start with mental freedom and getting back in charge of your thoughts is you listening and being aware of, giving attention to, be attentive to what the heck is going on in your head. Because we can't change or get in charge of our thoughts if we don't know what's happening there. So spend 48 hours or something just really listening to and paying attention to what is actually happening in your head. What thoughts are you thinking? And then for me, I ask myself, is that thought supportive? Is it healthy for me? Is it empowering me? Is it a hopeful thought? Is it something that excites me? Or is it a thought that pulls me down and takes away my power? Is it a supportive thought or is it an unsupportive thought? Is it a healthy thought for me or is it an unhealthy thought for me? Does it empower me and help me feel powerful and hopeful and good? Or does it disempower me and make me feel small and low and insignificant? We can choose from that awareness that we have, we can pick and choose the thoughts that we want to think. So I talked a lot about that in the last video. I've repeated some of that stuff as well, but hopefully something here supports you. And moving forward from here, let's really give thought to and give awareness to and maybe contemplate our mental freedom and see where that takes us. So that's that. My light is flickering for some reason, but thank you so much. So mental freedom moving forward. You have the power you hold your thoughts in your hand. You know, like this sword, you hold the thoughts in your hand. So get in charge. You step into the driver's seat of your life. Don't let your worries and negative thoughts lead you astray or lead you down some rotten path that is unhealthy and disempowering for you. You can turn that around today. And I absolutely believe in you that you can. It just takes a bit of effort and caring for how we feel, caring for what we think, caring for ourselves. To choose a different path or choose a different way, choose a new habit that supports us. So thank you so much for connecting today. Have a great rest of your day and I will be back to connect with you again very soon. So take care and namaste. Bye.